Hi, in this video we're going to take another step towards improving our AI agent and make it handle a large amount of data more efficiently. Quite often we need to load a large amount of context of data into our agent. And this may be necessary for several reasons. We want high accuracy and eliminate hallucinations, or we need to provide information that was never publicly available, and we need the agent to reference the exact information and provide it a reliable source. For instance, I have a huge FAQ file that would be really useful for the agent as a reference. It could answer questions more accurately, help me write emails, and even consult me directly. So, how can we actually provide this to the AI agent? Well, the first idea comes to mind is just putting all that information into the system prompt, like this. So we put it FAQ and we just copy paste here. But think about it. With every single request, the model would be overloaded with the entire dataset, even if most of it isn't relevant at the moment. That's exactly where the RAG comes in, retrieval augmented generation, because it allows the agent to fetch the only pieces it needs of data, only when it needs. This makes the whole process much more efficient and cost-effective. So to do this, we'll create a RAG storage in Latenode. It's right there, and upload all the files we need. In my case, that's the FAQ file, and let's go through the setup. Here you'll run into two parameters right away, chunk size and chunk overlap. They're mostly self-explanatory, but let me quickly break them down and explain when the different values make sense. Imagine your document is a long sheet of paper, and chunk size is basically how long the relevant piece we tear off from that sheet. If your document consists of small and independent parts like my FAQ, it makes sense to set the chunk size smaller so the agent gets only the exact relevant parts it needs. On the other hand, if you're working with long, meaningful paragraphs, say a novel, you would want to set the chunk size larger. Chunk overlap works the same way, but here's the idea. Let's say we split the document into chunks of 200 tokens each, and if overlap is set to 0%, the splits are like clean cuts. But what if the cut happens right in the middle of important information? The AI could lose context. So that's why we add some overlap, so the important information isn't get lost. Of course, adding too much overlap means we're wasting tokens unnecessarily. So it's about finding a balance. For our FAQ, the default values or less work perfectly fine, and honestly, they're good enough for most cases. So let's go ahead and create our storage and upload the file. Let's set the storage name, which is FAQ, and upload the file. And wait for the status. Now the file is successfully embedded in RAG system. So let's get back to our workflow and add the RAG search node into our workflow, connect it to the agent, and configure it properly. So let's set the name RAG FAQ and write the tool description. Set the storage ID, set the from AI agent operator in question field, and top key means how many chunks we get every call. 5 is okay for most cases, so hit the save button and make sure to reference RAG inside the system prompt in tools. And now let's test our personal assistant by asking it a FAQ related question. As you can see, the agent pulled in the RAG data exactly when it needed to, and you can keep adding more information to your RAG storage, so I definitely encourage you to experiment with it. That's it for today. See you in the next videos.